When I begin, I center myself in the presentation area and describe the idea of a teepee to the group. I ask them to enter the door and walk clockwise in a circle. Then everyone has a seat. These are legends my grandmother told me. Every child enjoys a good story. A legend is a good story. There are lots of examples in history of good stories, like Robin Hood or Paul Bunyan, King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table, or Jason and the Argonauts. My legends were filled with a guy named Weesakayjak. Weesakayjak was something like a superhero in the legends I used to hear. Weesakayjak had a lot of power. The story is so good, you don't know if it happened. And if, at the end, you ask me, is that real? Then I know I've told it right. Weesakayjak and Porcupine. Weesakayjak was walking around the world on a beautiful afternoon. He saw an animal rushing along in the bush. It was Porcupine. In those days, Porcupine had no quills. Weesakayjak decided to watch this creature. Porcupine was hurrying because he was being followed by a bear. Porcupine looked around for a place to hide, but there was nothing. The only escape was to climb up a thorn bush. The bear came around Porcupine. The bear tried to get Porcupine, but it only got handfuls or mouthfuls of thorns. The bear went away, very disappointed. Porcupine watched and waited until it was safe. He climbed down the thorn tree. When he got to the bottom, he thought about how the tree had saved his life. Porcupine picked branches off the tree and laid them across his back. Porcupine started along his journey when Bear returned for another try. Porcupine rolled himself up into a tight ball. The bear hit at the prickly ball, but it hurt its paws. Frustrated, Bear realized he could not get Porcupine. Bear left. Weesakayjak was very impressed with the whole show. He walked over to Porcupine and congratulated him on his wise trick. Weesakayjak said he was so impressed that he decided that he would help Porcupine. He broke branches off the thorn tree and pulled back the bark so they were bright white. Then he rubbed some clay onto Porcupine's back. Weesakayjak stuck long pieces of thorns all along Porcupine until he was covered from head to tail. Then he ran his hands along Porcupine to make it whole. Weesakayjak and Porcupine were very impressed with the job. Porcupine thanked Weesakayjak. Weesakayjak said that it would be good to test it before they both continue on their way. Weesakayjak found a spot where he could hide and still see. Porcupine wandered into the forest and began to sniff around for food. A wolf came wandering by and smelled a porcupine. It followed its nose. When Porcupine saw the wolf coming, he curled himself into a ball and hung on. The wolf snuck up and jumped on Porcupine. He ran away howling with a mouthful of quills. His paws were filled with the prickly things. The next one to wander by was Bear, but Bear had already tried to get Porcupine. When he saw the quills, he turned and went the other way. Weesakayjak jumped out and went to congratulate Porcupine. And that's why porcupines have quills to this very day.